Well, Joe Biden yesterday said that Trump is the first racist to be elected president.
Incorrect.
Let me give you a little breakdown here.
Yeah.
All of the earliest presidents had slaves. George Washington had 300 of them. Thomas Jefferson, who called slavery an assemblage of horrors, had 175 slaves himself. James Madison, James Monroe, Andrew Jackson had a couple dozen slaves. Martin Van Buren owned slaves. William Henry Harrison owned some slaves. John Tyler and James Polk had slaves. Zachary Tyler, who was president from 1849 to 1850, was the last president to keep slaves. He owned 150 of them on his plantations in Kentucky, Mississippi, and Louisiana. So as bad as Trump is, I would not say that he's the only racist to be elected president.
Okay. I was going to say, he probably got some slaves, too. Kanye, for sure. But,
Yo, you're
not
catching
to
me
mention
today.
the babies that they made, that they raped slaves and made.
Right.
Okay. And that little history lesson wasn't for me, because I knew. It was for the wonderful listeners out there, because I already knew. And even though you may not have slaves, you may have people enslaved. And that's what Donald has right now. He has enslaved a certain demographic of people's mind right now, and they can't see nothing else. They're not open to discussion. They're not open to critical thinking. They're just doing what they're told. Wear the mask, don't wear the mask. Black lives matter, black lives don't matter. Grab a woman by the pussy, don't grab a woman by the pussy.
Yeah, there's more COVID cases because we're doing more tests.
Yes, Chinese Bible, I'm not, the minorities, and let me get this Bible. Oops, it's upside down. Let me stand in front. Fuck out of here.
I never thought that in my lifetime, growing up with all the racism in the U.S., but I never thought that a sitting president would actually post a video of someone saying white power. But Donald Trump has surprised us once again by doing that.
Yeah. He will not display Barack Obama's presidential portrait
in the White House.
Foyer in the White House where it's supposed to be.
Yeah. I actually, I email the head of, I don't know what they call it, like black media for the Republican Party.
Is there such a thing?
Yeah. There's a black guy who wears a MAGA hat who's in charge of basically sending information about the Republican Party to media outlets. And I'm one of those media outlets. So I've exchanged emails with him. So I said, how do you as a black man feel about the president putting a video that says white power? And his response was, the president took the video down. It was an accident. He took it down immediately, which was the correct choice. The president does not support racism in any capacity, blah, 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 blah.
And you think he's don't own slaves?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how this guy goes back to his family after defending this guy. I just don't do it. Cookouts must be pretty awkward.
He's not invited to the cookout. Neither are Diamond and Silk or whoever them two old R&B ass bitches that he got from some Soul Train line somewhere. The bag wig wearing ass bitches that fucking support him. They're not invited to the cookout, and neither are these poor brainwashed Jesus freak black folks that went out and threw paint on a Black Lives Matter city ordained painting in the street. That really, really hurt. I'm like, boy, some of us are just I like to think they were paid. I like to put everything on money. Like, oh, they paid them to act like that. But no, them and the Jesse Lee Petersons of the world and stuff like that. They really believe that he has our best interest at heart, which is so insane since he is the flame that lit the fire under the biggest race war that we are facing, which is now ever since Nat Turner.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the Black Lives Matter protest was the biggest protest in the world's history.
In the world's history.
Yeah. 100-something countries, every state.
Because you know what happened was with George Floyd, and when everything started, it broke the dam, just like the dam that broke in New Orleans, Katrina. It broke the dam everywhere. Because what make you think now United States may be the cheerleader in the face of racism, but you think there's not racism in Canada? You think there's not racism in Amsterdam? You think there's not racism in China? You think there's not racism in Korea? You got black military over there. You got black folks everywhere get fucked everywhere, basically. So everybody said, yeah, us too. It was like the Black Lives Matter Me Too movement of the world.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
but we're not going to take it anymore. Not like that. We can't cure this overnight. We may not cure this in my lifetime. But the way that it was happening is still going to happen until we become equal and empower ourselves. But the way that it has happened, it ain't going to happen like that no more, because we're calling people out on shit. Other people are other nationalities have our back, as much as they can. And they're getting involved as well, because through the miracle of these video cameras, everything we've been saying was going on is finally being documented.